human game.
Oh my god! What now? Ah, what happened here?
So, Walter wasn't the killer after all.
Neither is Giovanni.
I think we can untie him now.
Oh mio Dio.
Giovanni, what happened here?
Mio Dio, please help me.
Giovanni, calm down.
I'm ruined. Nobody will ever come here again. Never.
Otto, please.
Giovanni, what happened?
I do not know. Mio Dio, I was asleep. And when I opened my eyes, Walter was dead beside me.
Did you see anyone?
No!
Are you sure?
Mio Dio, yes! I did not see or hear anything.
Listen to me, everyone. At one point, we were convinced Walter was the killer. Then we thought the killer was Giovanni. But they still could have been killers. No. There is another murderer, and he is among us.
God help us all.
I am going to search the premises for more clues. I propose you all stay in this room until I return. Agreed?
Agreed. I will personally make sure that no one leaves this room.
Thank you, Otto. Oh, one question.
Yes?
I would like to check the cabin in the mountains. Is it open?
It is sealed tight. Take the axe from the kitchen with you. Anna, I didn't want to say this in front of all the guests.
What is it?
The phone line is working again. The road will be cleared in a few hours, and
And?
if the murderer is not found by then, I am doomed. Nobody will ever come here again. There will be stories. Gruesome stories about the mysterious murders in Hotel Rega, which were never solved.
Try not to worry, Otto. I have some ideas. I just need a little more time to be certain.
I will be in your debt, Anna.
Could you open the back door to the kitchen?
Certainly. I closed that door before I went to bed last night. Could you go to reception and take the key from the table? I don't want to leave my guests on their own for too long.
Of course. There is the key Otto was talking about. I should not touch this liquid with my bare hands. It could be dangerous. Gloves would be useful. Great! I found some keys. Great! I found an axe. I need to check the cabin near the hotel. Great! I found a shovel. Great! I found a telescope. I wonder if it is at all possible to communicate with the town. I will use that telescope with a mirror from the attic. I want to see if it is possible to communicate with the town. Using the telescope and mirror, I could send light signals to the town. Bingo! Someone is trying to send a message. Just as I thought. Now I should return to the hotel and talk to Otto. Otto, can I have a word with you?
Of course. Did you find anything interesting?
I think so, yes.
What is it?
I just need to check one more thing, and then I will be ready to name the murderer. I just need to examine Claudia's and Dr. Hartman's rooms. Great! I found a postcard. Munich. That is what I thought. And I need to check Dr. Hartman's room one more time. Great! I found a letter. A letter to customs authorities. While I was... discovered a secret operation. Cigarettes and alcohol. Everything is clear now. Time to catch a killer.
Anna, did you find anything?
I think I did. Yes. Have the police arrived yet? What?
No, not yet. But they will be here very soon.
I need to pack my bags.
Claudia, please sit down. We have some time before the police arrive and can examine the results of my investigation.
What investigation?
I became suspicious after the death of Professor Kinski, and then, when Ulla died, I was certain they were both killed. Problem was, everyone sitting here had a motive to kill either one or the other.
What do you mean, Anne? What kind of a motive could I have?
Very well, Giovanni. I shall start with you. You are an opera singer in La Scala, although not a very successful one.
Anne, that is none of your business.
Nevertheless, you were hoping for a promotion, and you were this close to releasing a record, but suddenly everything collapsed, thanks to Mr. Peterson.
What?
You see, Mr. Peterson has always taken an interest in opera, and being a wealthy industrialist, was able to provide money to theaters across Europe, including La Scala. He disliked Giovanni's last performance, and demanded La Scala cancel his record and promote another singer instead. Isn't this so, Giovanni?
It is true. It is true. But it does not mean I killed him.
I cannot believe this.
What a shame, Giovanni.
Mr. Peterson ruined your professional career, and you were angry. It's getting cold in here. The fire needs more wood. That's better.
Do you know who the killer is, Anna?
I think I do. By the way, were you surprised I found a Hindu coin in Professor Kinski's room?
What do you mean?
Did you know Professor Kinski?
Well, I... sort of.
Ladies and gentlemen, what Professor Clark is trying to say is that he and Professor Adam Kinski were students at the same university, and formerly very good friends. But a girl you were going to marry ran away with Professor Kinski.
How did you discover this, Anna?
By searching Professor Kinski's luggage. Isn't it true you had threatened him before this?
Well, yes. But I swear I didn't kill him. In fact, when he saw me, he decided to leave, but then he died.
How convenient.
I told you it wasn't me. Murderer!
I didn't do it, honestly. I was as surprised as you.
But you were glad he was dead.
Anna, please.
Otto, I almost forgot about you.
What? Did I also kill Professor Kinski?
No. However, you do have a nice little smuggling operation going on here. first, I was confused by all the cigarettes in the cellar, but then I realized. Do you remember the day Dr. Hartman was killed? When he gave a note to me and Walter?
Oh my God!
Otto!
I thought Dr. Hartman had something to tell us about the killings, but he had discovered your smuggling operation and wanted to talk to us about it.
How do you know that, Anna?
I found a letter. Here it is. What do you think, Father?
Well, I don't think what is written here is true.
Why? Because he thinks you were also involved in the smuggling?
What? Are you mad?
I remember how worried you were when Dr. Hartman was killed, and asked if we had uncovered anything suspicious. Now I understand your real fear was that we would find out about you.
Father, is this true?
I...
He was helping Otto to communicate with customers. He travels a lot around this area and knows local people. Very convenient. And then Dr. Hartman found out, and he died.
Anna, it is not what you think.
I'm speechless, gentlemen. To kill a man because he uncovered your smuggling operation was cruel punishment.
We didn't kill him! In fact, we didn't even know he discovered... Oh, never mind.
What a shame.
Sadly, it is, yes.
Well, Anna, it is a relief to know all the criminals have been found. But now, please excuse me. I need to pack my bag and leave this place as soon as the road is cleared.
Well played, Claudia. To be honest, I admire your skill.
What are you talking about?
Have you seen this postcard?
Nice postcard. What is so special about it?
Do you recognize the city?
It is Munich. Everyone can see that.
I wonder why you have a postcard of Munich.
Anna, I do not have time for these silly questions. I must leave.
Anna, what are you doing? Let her go.
Gentlemen, please, let me tell you Claudia's story. I promise you will not be disappointed.
This is ridiculous.
Claudia Kopp was born in Munich.
Claudia, you told me you were French. And why did she call you Claudia Kopp when your last name is Perret?
Kopp is her maiden name. She got married in France and became Claudia Perret. After she divorced her husband, she returned to Germany and joined a covert operations group, seeking to bring the Nazi party to power.
What?
Go on.
She was introduced to Mr. Peterson and started working as his nurse. and so she gained access to his wealth and connections.
Did she kill?
In the Covert Operations Group, she was part of the unit dealing with Oriental religions, occultism, and their connections to Nazi symbolism and power. Her first task was to get in touch with a British professor who had just discovered a breakthrough in the search for immortality.
What utter nonsense!
This actually makes sense. I told you I was contacted a few times.
Claudia knew the professor would be at this hotel, so she persuaded Mr. Peterson to come here for a short holiday.
Mr. Peterson was sick, and doctors told us to go to the Alps. That is the only reason we came here.
The only problem was that Claudia did not know what the professor looked like, and both Professor Clark and Professor Kinski were here. Time was of the essence, so Claudia had to act quickly. She tore out the photos from the guest photo album and stole the hotel keys so she would have access to all the rooms.
So that explains the missing keys and the missing photographs.
On the day I arrived, Claudia decided to check Professor Kinski's room. But alas, the professor returned to his room at a very unfortunate moment when Claudia was going through his luggage.
That is the funniest thing I have ever heard. And then what? He saw me and had a heart attack?
No. Professor Kinski threatened to report you to the police and tell all the guests you were a thief. So you had no other choice. And the next morning you remembered he complained about his heart.
My God, I do not believe this.
Claudia, is this true?
This is a joke, Father. Can you not see? She has accused us all. The only innocent person here is Anna.
Anna, go on, please.
It's a telephone.
I will answer it, Otto.
Good afternoon. May I speak to Miss Claudia Perry?
Who is calling?
A good friend. Is she there?
Yes, but she's busy.
Is she all right?
Yes, she's perfectly fine. Do you have a message?
Yes. Please tell her that the plans have changed.
What plans?
She knows.
What is your name?
Helmut. Tell her Helmut.
I will.
Thank you and have a good day.
Who was on the telephone?
A man named Helmut. He was looking for Claudia.
I do not know him.
He asked me to tell you that the plans have changed.
Plans? I don't know about any plans.
Who is Helmut?
I told you I do not know him.
Anna, please continue.
Where was I? Oh yes, when Claudia killed Professor Kinski. Later that night, Ulla confided in Claudia that when she was younger, she worked as a nurse, and Professor Kinski's heart attack looked suspicious. Furthermore, Ulla discovered puncture marks on his neck that were probably made by a syringe. She also told Claudia that she planned to discuss it with Dr. Hartmann.
Mein Gott!
After their conversation, Claudia decided to take care of Ulla. She acted quickly, and we discovered Ulla's body later that evening.
Complete nonsense.
The next morning, Dr. Hartmann decided to investigate. As a doctor, it was obvious to him that something wasn't right, and he suspected that Professor Kinski and Ulla were both killed. Ironically, he discovered the smuggling operation during his investigation. Furthermore, he realized it was run by Otto with the help of Father Lenz.
What a shame.
As I said, it is not what you think it is. Oh, never mind. Anna, please, continue.
Dr. Hartmann wanted to share his findings and wrote 2 notes, one to me and one to Walter, asking us to come to the cellar at 11 o'clock, where he wanted to show us the boxes full of cigarettes.
Well, at least Dr. Hartmann wasn't killed by me.
On the contrary, Claudia, you knew Dr. Hartmann discovered something, and so you decided to kill him as quickly as you could. You didn't have time to stage another heart attack, so you stole Mr. Peterson's gun, ran to the cellar, and shot him. Later, you put the gun case in Giovanni's room, and the gun in Professor Kinski's luggage.
You confused us all.
Walter found the body first, and took out his gun, and began to look around. When I entered the cellar, I saw Dr. Hartmann's body, and Walter holding a gun. We argued, and after we searched the cellar, we left and informed everyone of Dr. Hartmann's death.
Nonsense!
When we announced the death of Dr. Hartmann, it turned out Giovanni was missing a pair of shoes. Professor Clark had mislaid his passport, and Mr. Peterson could not find his gun.
But now we know what happened to Mr. Peterson's gun. But what about the shoes and the passport?
We are almost there, Otto. Be patient, please.
Did you find my passport, Anna?
Yes, I did. Here it is. Later that day, Claudia pretended to be attacked. It removed all suspicion from her, but a tiny little detail immediately caught my attention. A syringe from Dr. Hartmann's medical chest. I asked Claudia if she had any visitors, and since she had to improvise quickly, she told me Dr. Hartmann was in her room, which was impossible because he was in a wheelchair and couldn't make it to the second floor.
I must have mixed him up with somebody else.
Later that night, when I shared my concerns with Otto, Claudia entered the room. She was obviously worried and wanted us to suspect Walter. When I went to the cellar before going to bed, wearing Giovanni's shoes, Claudia locked me up and turned off the lights. And when I got out, I saw the fresh shoe prints made by a man. It was very clever.
How could you, Claudia?
Meanwhile, Mr. Peterson had begun to suspect Claudia. He confronted her and demanded a straight answer. At first, Claudia acted innocent. However, after a while, she pretended she had to show him something. When they got to the backyard, Claudia stabbed him and dragged his body as far away as she could. Then she returned to the hotel and spent the night with Giovanni. A perfect alibi.
You witch!
In order to incriminate Giovanni even more, she smashed his record and scattered its pieces near the cellar door.
A cold-blooded killer.
What happens next is relatively straightforward. We all thought the killer was either Walter or Giovanni. The only problem was that Walter knew that he was not the killer, and he doubted that Giovanni was capable of murder. He suspected Claudia, and she had to keep him quiet.
So many innocent lives.
And there was one last thing I needed to check. It was more or less clear to me that the killer was Claudia. I just didn't know if she had communicated with someone outside.
But the phone lines were down.
Exactly. Yesterday I saw Claudia walking around with a mirror. I decided to do the same, and to my surprise, when I started to reflect the sunlight to the other part of the mountain, I got the same response back. Very clever, Claudia. What do you say?
I won't say anything, not until I see my lawyer.
Very well.
Police, open up, police! What is going on here? Is everything all right?
Thank God you are here.
We have a murderer here. Mrs. Claudia Perret.
Mrs. Perret, is this true?
I won't say anything without my lawyer.
All right then. Stay here, please. We need to check the premises. Anna, thank you very much for helping us solve the case.
I'm glad I could help.
We will take Claudia into custody.
That is good to hear.
I suggest you stay at the hotel for one more night, as it is too late to set off on a long trip. Do you mind, Otto?
No, of course not. After everything that has happened, I am not sure I could sleep here alone anyway.
Very well. Have a good rest.
Thank you. Goodbye. I have packed all my belongings, and I'm ready to go. Let's go outside.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Anna.
Good morning. You are welcome, Otto.
Well, I hope you will come here again.
I will.
Anna, I have one question.
Yes?
I don't really know how to say this. About my other business.
Oh, you mean the smuggling? It is none of my business. But you will get caught eventually, Otto. If I were you, I would stop.
Thank you. The car is waiting for you. It will take you to town. Have a safe trip home, Anna.
Take care.